going on, guys? I would like to talk about Zack Snyder. I'm not here to dog him, but I think he's fallen off a little bit, and he has another Netflix special movie show coming out. I would like to go ahead and explain. I've been somewhat a fan of some of his older movies, and it's just a few, not a lot. I don't think he's horrible, but I think he's getting overhyped. And I would like to start this off by my main reason is the Justice League. I didn't care for it as much. Now, I will say his was better. It was. But I think it was because Joss Whedon's was so horrible that Zack Snyder's version was going to be better than his regardless. I still think he fumbled DC. Now, I went through a lot of the Wikipedia. Take it with a grain of salt. Some of that stuff's inaccurate, but I would like to explain why I'm talking about him. He has his last two movies that came up recently, which was the Rebel Moon. It's kind of his answer to Star Wars, but it's supposed to be R-rated and a lot more, grungy, I guess. But from what I understand, it's horrible. A lot of people are hating on him, and I think he's getting his hate a little too late. Because if you ever look at his other movies, well, yeah, they pretty much put meats in seats. I think the trailers are really what sells the movie. They're not really that great. 300 was okay. That's something I actually enjoyed. Army of the Dead, I didn't care for it. It seemed kind of boring, and I hate that it was boring. Justice League, like I said, let me go ahead and explain it like this, and it's been pretty much memed to hell and back. A lot of people have done reviews, but I would like to go ahead and just touch base. I agree with a lot of these reviews because, Superman's not well written. Batman was okay, but he still ended up killing people. But if you wanted to go with the, this is the one that came out of retirement, got more, very, very hard and started killing people. Yeah, I kind of get that if that's what he's going for. But that's not what Justice League, when Justice League is founded, that's not the same Batman that they've ever used. I get he went to a different direction. I'm not arguing that. I get, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely try to make it your own. But I think he went about it wrong, and I just don't think it was the right idea. Superman, he wrote him wrong completely. All the special effects, all the costumes, everything are amazing. He definitely knows the right people to hire to give the right vision. The writing was shit. Superman is not just the beacon of good. He's an interactive person, and he seems very standoffish. And a lot of the thing I think they missed was he's not just the good guy, the goody two-shoes, He's more than that. He's actually really well connected because the thing is, I think people forget, while, yeah, he tries to stay in touch with his Kryptonian heritage that he doesn't know about because he is different. He also is 100%, he's, a human to him. While, yes, he's a Kryptonian, he feels like he has to protect everybody. That's also his biggest flaw. If you ever watched or read, and I'm not 100% accurate with this because I'm not a DC fanboy, but I will say, from what I understand, what I've seen a lot of reviews, I will say I agree with it from what I've watched because I wasn't a big Superman fan from a distance. Once I started watching Justice League more and rewatching it as an adult, I realized, yeah, Superman's still really well written. My point is, his biggest flaw is the fact that he's so powerful. It's not that he sees everybody inferior. He just feels like he's the only one that can protect everybody. So a lot of the fights is just his internal struggle to let everybody do what they do as a team. That's usually his biggest issue. Is he tries to take the burden all the time, and he gets his ass whooped a lot. You don't see that at all. He doesn't burden himself with a lot. The only reason why he has to burden himself with, say, the whole fight against the other Kryptonians is because he really only can. He doesn't have a team yet. Justice League didn't feel that way. He was literally their hidden MacGuffin at the end of the movie. But that kind of brings me back to full circle. What movies has he actually done lately that hasn't just kind of came and went? He hasn't done anything that's been super well liked to the point it's iconic. We'll do Sucker Punch, for instance. He directed it, and not a lot of people probably even care. It was okay when it came out. I didn't watch it because I didn't really care about the premise, and it just seems like a lot of people really didn't care. It came and gone, just like most of his movies do. 300 is the only thing that's iconic, but it's also because it's been memed to hell and back. So I didn't know this. I kind of get this on the critical response of Wikipedia. Just to let you know, if you need to read along better than I can read, this area right here. Critical response. It's talking about how he hasn't lost his visual flair, but it's not enough. His writing is kind of shit now. And that's kind of my point. So he's not doing what he should have. Now, if you want to pause it and read through it, you're more than welcome. I'm going to have to... Yeah, if you want to pause it, read through this, you're more than welcome. Let me get it right there. And this kind of explains everything. But that's kind of my point. I don't think he's ever really been that good. A lot of people saying super visual, which is fine. But if you're going to write it, you have to be a better writer. And I think that's where his weakness is writing. All of his visual effects are really good. He's a good visionary, but I don't think he's good. Like, if somebody brought him an idea and wrote him a good script, I'm pretty sure he could bring it to life. But I think he's overdoing his slow-mo. I think a lot of the CG, which is an artistic choice, kind of looks dated as soon as it's pretty much 2 or 3 years later, except for 300. That still did pretty well. Watchmen's still really good. But like 300, 2 or whatever it was called, yeah, not that good. not that good, man. The ending CG was definitely, it looked like a blue screen, not even a green screen. He's not done. He has a whole new movie show, something coming out on Netflix. I haven't even looked into it because I've kind of steered away and tried to avoid all of his movies lately because he has 100% ruined his own career. I think he can bounce back. He's just got to get his, his mojo back. He's definitely got to get out there, probably punch some punching bags, jerk off a little bit, get some post-nut clarity. And I'm pretty sure he can write us another banger, get us another 300 for the 2024. But like I said, I know it sounds like I'm dogging him, but he's had definitely an uphill battle with a lot of the companies he worked for. Just DC, for instance, he had a vision, and the vision was good enough to pass. And I do feel bad for all the DC fans that wanted to see his entire Snyderverse. I don't have to like it, but it's a whole plethora of people that would have enjoyed it. That's just like me if I watched all the Marvel movies that came out pre-Avengers, and it would lead up to the Avengers, and then the Avengers never did what they were supposed to do. Like, the Avengers never happened. That would hurt my feelings if they built it up that long and then just stopped. So I understand why you guys are probably pretty pissed because you wanted to see this go through. I just don't think it was the more accurate representation, because when Justice League is founded, normally this is with non-retired heroes, but more a bunch of solos finding out there's a bigger universe out there than them. They got to be willing to protect the planet. So they know not one guy, not just Superman, not just Batman can protect these people. So that's kind of the whole point of the Justice League. And I think they kind of missed the mark on that with the movie. But I think I've rambled on long enough. I just wanted to let everybody know, yeah, it seems like his stuff is, I don't think he's been as good as what everybody thinks. I think he's been failing for a while now. And it's just unfortunate because I think he was going to have more movies come out that's going to be around the same justification of like his version of whatever's already been out, which is probably not a good idea, but he's going to do what he wants to do. I can't argue with it. He gave us some pretty decent movies back in the 2000s, and I think he's losing it. But hopefully he gets everything back and gets us a banger here pretty soon. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.